right, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. Welcome to the African Portal Radio TV International. It's a great day. And I thank God for great, beautiful evening that we have here in South Africa, in Pretoria. It's kind of very cold here, but anyway, today is 16 June, and we are going to celebrate it. We've been celebrating it since morning. It has been a great time. In Santin, we have some indoor games with some Nigerians come together to celebrate the Youth Day in South Africa. And tonight, I have with me in the studio one of the community leaders and also one of the great men doing well in our community, so passionate about the community, making sure of what really belongs to them in South Africa, making sure everybody is documented, and is so passionate about it. And tonight, we are going to be talking about the youth of 1976. And also, we're going to be talking about the current situation of this great continent, Africa, and also what is happening globally. I have privilege, it's not strange to this house, it's also the family, also the colleague, as a senior colleague, and a very great man. I have with me in the studio Barrister ADETUNJI OMOTOLA. Barrister OMOTOLA, it's a great pleasure having you again. How are you today?
Thank you, Dario, for having me. I'm very happy to be on your show again. I think this is probably my 6th time or 5th time. Yeah, today is a special day in the history of this great country, and it's Youth Day, and I think it's the 49th anniversary of the Soweto uprising, in which more than 200 pupils across South Africa were killed by the apartheid government because they protested against the use of Afrikaans as a compulsory language in addition to English. So yeah, thank you for having me. And good evening to your listeners and your guests and your other partners as well, rather. Your partners and your listeners.
All right, let's quickly go to it. Let's look at the significance of today. Why is it important? We have to go back to the line of history 49 years ago. Why is it important, and what is so significant about today?
Well, first of all, if you remember, even in the context of Africa, the population of young people dominates. There are more young people than there are old people. And so we have a youth population that is huge. And also history is very important. So the fact that they remember those who fought and died for freedom, they were fighting for freedom. Apartheid was in its most advanced stage in 1976. And if you remember, it was white rule, blacks couldn't vote in South Africa, and they lived in the township. They had to carry a pass, and most of their leaders had either been killed, like Stephen Bantu Biko, and some had been jailed, and many had gone to exile, like Jacob Zuma, Thabo Mbeki, Howard Tambo, and so many others. They were in exile, and many of the leaders had been jailed or somewhere imprisoned or being tortured and killed. So the young people of 76, they were very brave and bold to say never again would they be submitted to this Bantu system of education, very inferior, white supremacist culture. So they came out and protested, and there were about 15,000 of them that were able to gather from Naledi, from Isaac Morrison, from many other schools. And the police, the apartheid police, the British apartheid police started to shoot them and kill them with live bullets. So we're remembering them. It's a major date in the South African calendar, June 16. And the young people in this country are very much in the governance of this country, whether it's in the ANC political party or even in government, at cabinet and parliament. A lot of young people are involved. So young people are really special. And so today is their day.
All right, thank you very much. And also, I just want us to also pay a tribute, as today is Youth Day, to one of the fallen heroes that have fought and also they are already passed on. I just want to put Solomon Matlango on the spotlight. Let's quickly just watch some videos, then we also talk a bit about him. Let me just quickly do that. Just 1 minute, I'll be back.
It's an honor to Solomon Matlango and his comrades, and all those who have perished. You might have noticed all the faces of all those who were executed here. These are leaders who propelled this country forward towards a new democratic dispensation. We pay tribute to all those who were together with Solomon, who were tortured, who sustained injuries, and eventually died from those injuries. Why are we doing this every time? This will serve as a reminder to all of us that this must not happen again. We fought against a system that killed our people. We who are still alive today must jealously guard this freedom. We must not go back. No matter the conditions that we may confront as we move ahead, never then would give ourselves the authority to terminate.
All right, that is coming to you from the African Portal Radio TV International, live from our studio here in Pretoria, South Africa. Barrister ADETUNJI OMOTOLA, let's talk about the what happened to these great leaders. That they put their life together. Some of them run to the neighboring country or to the country, other country in Africa. Let's talk about Solomon Matlango. Let's put him on the spotlight right here now. What do you want to tell people about this, and how do you feel about the way he was killed?
Well, look, the story of Solomon Matlango is a very sad story. So, as a young man who was an activist, only 23, and he was obviously sentenced to death by hanging, and he was killed. And I think he had to walk 37 steps or so down into where they were going to hang him to death. And he said this when he was being hanged to death. His last words were, "My blood will nourish the tree that will bear the fruits of freedom." And he said, "Tell my people I love them and they must continue to fight." So this was a very brave man, young man, but whose courage and bravery led him to, the hands of the apartheid state, and they killed him. So, but his story really is the story of apartheid South Africa, where once you're an activist and you're involved in the fight for freedom, you are seen as an enemy of the state. And if you then take arms up, you are seen as terrorists, because many of the young people also had to join in the armed struggle. So this was the real tragedy of Solomon Matlango, that he didn't even get to celebrate 24 years on earth and he had been snuffed out. A story of sacrifice, a story of bravery, a story of courage, and a story of, the pain of South Africa, as so many young Black people, their lives were destroyed because they were fighting for freedom.
All right. Okay. Let's now get to the reality of the time. Let's look at what is currently happening. Are you there? Are you there? All right, seems like we lost him there. Okay, let's continue with the program. I really appreciate those of you connected with this broadcast. Please kindly share it, let it go viral. The more you share it, the more you give it opportunity to go viral. So please kindly watch, like, comment. Your comment is very important. That is the fuel we are using on this program right now. So please kindly share it, let this go viral. The more you share it, the more you give it opportunity to go viral. And I thank every single one of you that you are connecting with this broadcast this hour. Please, let's do it together. We are talking about the youth of 1976 and their contribution to this great nation, South Africa, and the Africa portal as well. We are putting upon ourselves to celebrate this great day and also to talk about the significance of today in our current time, in this day, in our continent, Africa. Remember, the African portal, Africa is our business, and we believe in the unity of Africa. These leaders, the fault that stand for their rights, for their liberty, for their freedom, but are we really enjoying the freedom? Are we free, or we are still in bondage? Are we really free? Is what's so-called the civilization of the time, are we really enjoying it? What can we talk about when we are talking about Africa? Africa of the past, Africa of now. What is the progress? 49 years ago, the youth stood up to say no to the apartheid power that want to give them what is not belongs to them. But the youth of today, what are we doing? Are we also stand for our rights? Are we saying no to democracy that is poison and endanger and putting our continent in bondage? Are we speaking up to say no to the politician that is putting the resources of this continent, Africa, into their pocket? The youth of today, what is your role? Are you also speaking out? Please let us now think about all these things. Let the youth stand up. Let's liberate our land. Let's liberate our continent. The unity of Africa is very important. And until when Africans come together, that is the only way we can see the progress that we have been talking about. So this is what is gaining momentum on the African portal. My guest is coming back. I guess his network is giving problem. Obviously, he's coming back. Then we'll continue with the conversation. But before that, let me just use this time to go back to our advertisement department to bring you one or two adverts that we have for you. Remember, the African portal, if you want to advertise your business, this is the one-stop media house where you can come and advertise your business. Whether you have small business, big business, or you have events coming up, we can put it on the spotlight and let people know about it. That is what we do. And we appreciate your support by you bringing your business to us so that we can be able to talk about it, put it on the spotlight, and ask more people to buy from you. This is what will make Africa great. And as I used to say, speak Africa, eat Africa, and wear Africa. Let's build our economy. Let's build ourselves. Buy from Africa shop. And this is the things that will make the economy of this continent to be robust and to be a better one. It's time to build better Africa. Nelson Mandela Foundation said this year, Mandela Day is going to be titled, is in our hands now. So it's in our hands now to do the better thing, to do the right thing. Let's Africans come together. Let's find solution to some of the problems facing this great continent, Africa. My guest is back in the studio. I guess is the problem from the network. Honorable Motola, welcome back.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's quickly continue with the conversation. Yeah. Yes, continue.
As I was saying, the Solomon Mashlangu story, there are many South African stories like that. Very painful, whether they were in Robben Island as prisoners, whether they were in Vlakplaas, whether they were in Brandfort, whether they were in Joburg prison, whether they were in John Foster police station, wherever they were, They were black people were subject to inhumane treatment. And thus, on a day like this, the youths that were killed, Hector Peterson, Murphy Morobe, and the leaders of the movement at the time, the student movement, many of those who were killed, we must remember them because the world we live in today is even more dangerous than it was in 76. Now we have people being killed everywhere around the world, in Ukraine, in Gaza, in Iran, in Israel, in Sudan. There's wars almost everywhere. And there's a lot of dictatorship. So today is a special day. We remember those who fought for freedom. Mandela, of course, is the one that the world knows because of 27 years in prison. But were those who paid like Solomon Mashlangu, the ultimate sacrifice for freedom. And he said his blood will nourish the fruits of freedom and that he loves his people and they must continue the fight. So Solomon Mashlangu is an inspiration to all of us.
Thank you very much, Honorable ADETUNJI OMOTOLA. Now let's get to what is going on now in the world. Look at the fight between Iran and Israel. This is going crazy and is scary. What is your take on this, and what is the way out of this?
Well, the situation in the Middle East, not today. This thing started October 7th. Is it October 7th? 2 years ago, I believe, when Hamas militants crossed the border into Israel and killed so many people, hundreds of people, and they also took hostages, hundreds of hostages. And that began the conflict in the Middle East. In Gaza now, they've killed more than 55,000 Palestinians, many of them women and children. They continue to kill them every day. And even they're being starved at the moment. There's no food. People are dying of starvation. So, of course, we saw that expand into Lebanon with the pagers. When the pagers were exploding in Lebanon, they were after Hezbollah because they felt that Hezbollah is a proxy of the Iranian government. And Hezbollah was shelling Israel during the time that Israel, the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, moved into Gaza. The Hezbollah were shelling them from the southern border of Israel. So they had to be dealing with Hezbollah as they were pursuing Hamas in Gaza. So they were more or less fighting on two fronts. Now they've opened the third front now, which is Iran. And what's the reason for going there? They said that Iran is close to developing an atomic bomb that, warheads, nuclear warheads, that will be capable of doing so much harm to Israel. And they then said that the reason why they've gone in is because they want to preempt such a disaster, such a calamity and catastrophe. That's why they are attacking their nuclear plants, their labs, and their scientists. They went after them and killed them. And even their generals who were in charge of their army, air force, and so on, they killed them. So it's causing a lot of destruction across Iran, from Natanz to Tehran. All sorts of places in Iran are being bombarded by Israel with fighter jets, hundreds of fighter jets dropping bombs and missiles, dropping all sorts of bombs and hitting these targets. And what they've said, now the Iranians have also responded, retaliated with drones of their own and missiles that they have used to attack Israel. So many missiles have been sent to Israel. And so, but on the Israeli side, there's more casualties on the Iranian side than there is on the Israeli side. It is a terrible situation because in war, there's never a winner. No one wins the war. Because if you look at Israel, there's so much damage. Families are being killed. Iran, same thing. Yes, Iran is suffering more losses, but innocent people are dying. People who don't know anything about nuclear weapons or military warfare, they're being killed in their homes. This is my worry. So the international community needs to be resolute to say to Israel, stop the aggression, because Israel started it and Iran is simply retaliating, but they don't have the capacity that Israel has to force destruction on Israel, as we have seen in the last 4 days, the casualties and the breadth and length of the country that Israel has covered. So it is a terrible situation. No one will win this war. Many people who are innocent are going to die. The country will be destroyed. People's lives will be lost. Property will be destroyed. And there will be no peace at the end of the day. There will be no peace. And where there is no peace, there will be war. And where there is war, there will be destruction and suffering. So the whole world must come together. The same way we fought COVID-19. We have to rally around and stop these wars. We need to stop the wars, silence the guns.
Hmm, hmm. All right, silence the guns. All right, I believe we are sending this out to everyone that have the capacity to share this across. Please kindly share this information, share this program. Let this go viral. The more you share it, the more you give it opportunity to go viral. It's live on our YouTube channel, so it's live on our Facebook channel. Please kindly share this, let this go viral. Also on TikTok, we are there. We are available on all social media, so let's do it together. So let's look at the South Africa and the economy in South Africa and the situation in South Africa and the youth of today. What is the difference between the youth of today and the youth of 1976?
Well, first of all, I mean, it's almost 50 years ago. So somebody who was a youth in 1976 will be well over, if you were 15, then you'll be 64 now. 64. If you're 15 in 1976, I was not even 15 in 1976. So that gives you a sense. Those days, life was better. Things were cheap. There was safety. There was no wars like this. And most people were still, I mean, especially African youths. Most African youths were living in Africa. Now African youths are running away. There's something called Japa in Nigeria. Japa, people are running away, young people. Young people are involved in a lot of crime today. Young people are involved in a lot of drugs today. When we were young, just smoking a cigarette is a big problem, or drinking alcohol. Today, cigarettes, alcohol, drugs, sex, there's no more standard. People are showing their, bodies. It's become a meat market. So I think young people of today are not lucky, even though there's technology and there's a lot more things they can do. They've got cell phones, WhatsApp, Instagram, they've got LinkedIn, Facebook. We didn't have all those things when we were young. We didn't have all these gadgets, phone, your watch that tells you, is also like a phone. You can use it to pay your bill. We didn't have this technology. So young people are more vulnerable now. The world is unsafe. There's a lot of dangers out there. We saw what happened with the young lady. She met somebody. They meet people on social media. Before you know it, somebody has killed somebody. Those days, there was no social media. Somebody has to come and knock on your door. If you want to chase your daughter, they have to come and knock on your door. You see them live and chase them away if you don't like them. But now on social media, they can lure them and kill them. So I don't think young people now are lucky in many respects. but they also have opportunity. The world is a village. With technology now, you can be talking to somebody in China, somebody in Russia. You can learn a language online. There's a lot of online businesses. We are online now. We're talking. You don't have to invite me to come to your studio. And we can even add somebody to this conversation to make it broader, because the whole idea of this youth day where we're talking about is to begin to get the young people to understand that they have more power than they're doing at the moment. They have to be running for office. They have to be speaking truth to power. I was mentioning to you that on a day like this, we have to call out some of our leaders because we have concerns in South Africa as diasporans or as Africans in diaspora. We have a Minister of Foreign Affairs in Nigeria. Nobody knows him in South Africa. Nobody knows Ambassador Tuga. If you ask Nigerians who is our Minister for Foreign Affairs, they won't be able to tell you. If you also ask them who is the chairman of NIGHTCOM, many of them won't be able to tell you. If you ask them who is the Minister of Finance, Wale Edo, many of them won't be able to tell you. If you ask them who is the governor of Central Bank, Olayemi Kadoso, many of them won't be able to tell you. If you ask them who is the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji, many of them won't be able to tell you. If you ask them who is the Minister of Culture, Anatu Musawa, many of them will be able to tell you. These are cabinet, even if you ask them the Minister for Works, Dave Umahi, many of them won't be able to tell you. If you ask them the Minister of Justice, Fagbemi, SAN, many of them won't be able to tell you. Now, if the youth cannot tell you who your leaders are, then what's the relevance of those leaders? So we need to call these leaders out. There are 50 ministers in Nigeria, 36 governors, FCT minister, who is like a governor, and then we have 469 members of parliament. Yet many Nigerians in South Africa do not have their own papers. They're here illegally. And these are lawmakers. So the illegality of our people in South Africa should concern the National Assembly. For every Nigerian that doesn't have their paper, it exposes the country. When people don't have papers, they're vulnerable. We must challenge the status quo. Immigration is not a crime. To be fighting for your papers is not a crime. In America, Nigerians fight for green card with their lives to get green card. In UK, indefinite leave to remain. They fight with their lives. They do anything they have to do to get it, to suffer for it. They do exams to become doctors, even in South Africa. So why are people shy to pursue their papers, to go to church and pray from morning till night? That the paper must come out tonight. They mustn't sleep. They mustn't eat. They must fast for 30 days, dry fasting. Because once you're illegal in any country, you become a problem to the country. And then some of the folks may end up committing crime because when you don't have papers, sometimes you might not be able to get a decent job. Life can be tough. So we have to tell our people on this special day, my message to Nigerians in diaspora, let's come together, create a fund, we support each other to get papers. Legality first. Egalite, equality, fraternity. So legality first. Once you're legal, then you can dress like me, you can speak Hausa, speak Yoruba regularly like Dare. You must be legal. Legal or perish. Legal or perish. There's nothing as painful as when people are not legal. After all, Nigeria is one of the richest countries in Africa. We have Africa's richest man. We produce the largest barrels of oil. we produce the highest number in Africa of barrels of oil, yet our people don't have papers. It means that we're not a serious people. We're only interested in driving big cars and chasing women with big bomb. It's not going to help us to get papers. Leave the big bombs alone and go for big documentation. Because if you go for big bomb, the money you are supposed to use to pursue your papers, you'll be giving it to one young lady, and she won't be able to help you to get your papers. So leave the ladies alone, reduce the expenditure on lifestyle, and go for your papers. Papers.com. Papers.com.
Wow, thank you very much. And that is the calling on this special day as we are celebrating the Youth Day. One of the concern is that a lot of people, a lot of Nigerians in South Africa are not well documented, and we are calling on these rich, so-called rich people in Nigeria. A lot of money is going down the drain. A lot of nonsense is happening, and a lot of mismanagement is going on. So let's rather channel all this money into something better. Let's legalize our people in South Africa. That is what we are calling for from Nigerian government, and that is what we are calling for from
We don't need the government. We don't need the government. Let me interrupt you. We don't need the government to help us. The government does not help people who are in America to get legal. All the government needs to do, if a Nigerian is killed, for example, that happens, the government should insist that they will take care of the bill and take the dead body home. That one should be a basic standard. And then we fight for justice hand in hand with the government. The government does not need to help anybody with paper. The community is going to do so. And that's why we're going to set up a welfare fund. Community, I came up with a concept called FFCCC or something. FFCC is faith, family, community, country, continent. So naturally it's FFCCCC. Faith, family, career, country, community, and continent. Listen, family, faith, career, community, country, continent. So we mustn't only worry about country all the time. What about the community? What about our faith? What about our career? What about our continent? Because if we think about our continent, sometimes we get support more from people who are not even from Nigeria or from our country, because we have a common denominator. We are Africans, and we're all being oppressed. We're all being oppressed. So there isn't any need for us to be worried about government. We, the people, are the government. We elect our leadership. If they don't do our bidding, we'll remove them from power. We'll vote them out. There's no need to run after any government official anywhere on earth, because we put them in office. That's the truth. But we must run after our members of our community, our friends, our family, our colleagues. When there's an issue, we challenge the status quo, because government sometimes is remote from us. They're far from us. Maybe the local government chairman, but the Senate is far from me. They're in Abuja. Maybe my local government, yes. So we must change our mindset. The government is not important. We put them there. If they don't do the things they're supposed to do, we kick them out. But we have to go after members of our community who are close to us, that have similar interests as we do, that care about the people, that care about their own citizens, fellow citizens. Government is us, we the people. We the people. The people shall govern. So there's no need to run after any elected official, any ambassador, senator. We will tell them what we want them to do. If they don't do it, we vote them out. That's all. No need to run after any elected person. For what? But we run after our friends and our, people who are close to us, because they can make us have impact in our community. We don't run after the governor. We run after our friends and family. That's the natural order, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
No need to run after anybody. In a democracy, you just wait for election. If they don't do what they promise, you vote them out. That's all. That's the only contract you have with them. In fact, you pray for them not to perform so you can vote against them or challenge them or ask that they resign from office. Like the current president, President Tinubu, I suspect that if he asks me who he should fire, I'll be able to fire a few of his ministers tonight who are not doing anything. Yes.
All right. No, let's continue. And I want to sincerely thank Minister Mariboma all the way from Jamaica connecting and also watching us. And your contribution also is very, very important. Thank you very much. I like what you say. Minister Mariboma say yes, as we need to use wisdom for surviving in this time. Yeah, that is your contribution there. Thank you very much. Keep watching it, keep sharing it. We have a lot of followers in Jamaica and also
let me respond to your guest. We need wisdom, but above all, we need courage. Above all, we need vision. And above all, we need to colonize ourselves. Colonize ourselves. What do I mean? Each person should try and become a producer of something. Even if you can produce toilet roll or biscuit or egg or fish, anything. But to wake up every day of your life and you produce nothing, you're a content producer, so you have a lot of impact already. But you must go beyond just content on television. We must produce biscuit or akara or jojo or moi moi or jollof rice. We go and buy rice and cook it and produce it and call people to come and eat it. And we put our heads together and say, now that you have eaten this good jollof, how much are you going to contribute to the success of your brother who has no paper and he has been in this country for a few years and he has children and they have to go to school and the man wants to buy a property and so on. So we have to be determined to fight poverty, but also fight the typical thing that affects the black man, which is just to be watching from the sideline. We are very good as spectators in Africa. When the Olympics comes, we go as spectators. Even our athletes, they will not bring medal, and we're happy. We'll spend millions to send them there. They will win nothing, and we'll still be happy. Meanwhile, America, Russia, China, and so on, they will clear more than 100 or 200 medals. Africa will be struggling to get 2 gold or 3 gold, apart from Kenya. So these are the things, when you are operating on mediocrity, I think Africans, especially Nigerians and South Africa, are operating on mediocrity. When I talk about mediocrity, I'm talking about mediocrity in relation to immigration. Immigration. Nigerians are not serious about immigration. They spend a lot of time in the religious industries, the economic industries, but in the immigration sector, it's a woeful performance, almost 0 over 100. And that is the danger. And that's why we have no influence. Because a country where the diaspora cannot vote, where some people don't have their papers, there's no ambassador, nobody's on television, on any TV station in South Africa, and many of our people cannot speak a local language. How do we integrate into this beautiful land? These are the basics that we must do. We must fight to vote back home, since most of our people cannot vote here because they don't have citizenship. So it's a do or die affair. We must vote in Nigeria. It's a do or die affair, and we must raise money for our people to pursue their documentation legally. Those 2 issues are non-negotiable. And finally, we must have a Nigerian welfare fund. No Nigerian should die in South Africa and we're contributing money overnight and struggling to raise money to repatriate the body. We must have the numbers of all the governors of all the 36 states in Nigeria so that we can call upon them when one of their states people, because we have state of origin in Nigeria. No Nigerian should die in South Africa and there is no support from the government or the state where that Nigerian comes from. Nigerians cannot be a mere statistic in South Africa and looking like they are displaced and without a nationality. The Nigerian passport, we have to make sure that people can get their passports easily, they can get their national identification number easily, they must go for a South African driver's license, they must get their permits, they must try and get decent employment, like what happens with Filipinos in Dubai, where there's no Filipino in Dubai that earns less than $400 a month. I challenge anybody to say I'm lying. There's no Filipino in the whole of UAE that is earning less than $400 a month. So Nigerians, get your NIN, get your passport, get your driver's license, make sure your certificates, your qualifications are SAQA, you send it to SAQA, do everything so that you can enter the South African system. Once you enter the South African system, put pressure on your leaders back in Nigeria so that all of us can go back to Nigeria. We don't have to die here. There's no value in dying in any foreign country. We can go back home, get old and eat akara and say goodbye, sayonara. So the fact that you are legal in South Africa does not mean that you are not going to legalize yourself in Nigeria. Get your PVC, get your everything to order, your BVN, everything. And we're going to help you to do it. It's not that you will leave you. So if you need it, the host, he has my number. He also is very well versed in some of these matters. He has good connections. We want to document our people in Nigeria. We want to document them abroad. We want them to contest for positions of power back home in Nigeria. There's no law that says you cannot go home to Nigeria and contest. You don't need any godfather. God is your father. You don't need, I always say there's no need for a godfather. God is your father, isn't it? If God is father, Abba Father, why do you need a human being to be your father? It's only your biological father is your father on earth. So you don't need any godfather. A politician who is good doesn't need a godfather. So the future of Nigerians in diaspora is bright, but documentation is the key to that bright future.
All right. Thank you very much, Honorable ADETUNJI OMOTOLA, for that explanation. And we're going to where we're going to be having some argument now, a serious argument about some issue. And I have a question coming all the way from Jamaica. Minister Mariboman said that why is it that even when people are hot, they don't speak out? People decide to keep quiet about the situation that is really, really putting their life in danger or even taking their lives. Why?
Okay, well, first of all, let me say this. From where I'm sitting, I am privileged. My background, I have a sociology degree, I have a master's degree, I'm a qualified stockbroker, I'm a qualified legal attorney, I'm a politician, a media man. But it's not because I have all these qualifications that I'm speaking out. I've been speaking out since I was 2 years old. In my family, I'm the one that speaks. I didn't go and learn it from school. I speak truth to power. I fear no human being, especially if I'm on the right path. And I think what we must do, even those who are afraid, you can ask someone else to speak on your behalf. You can go to a lawyer. You can go to somebody in the community and report your pain to them and ask them to speak on your behalf. Not everybody is eloquent. Not everybody is a lawyer. Not everybody likes to speak. Some people are afraid to face pain and poverty and penury. Sometimes when you speak, you face pain and poverty and penury. You will suffer a lot of losses. To be speaking It's not a successful franchise as much as selling biscuits and so on without speaking. But the good thing about speaking is that you then become influential in certain areas. And people call you for advice. I can tell you for free that people call me regularly. So if I say I'm not going to call people again for the next 100 years, people will be calling me regularly. And so speaking also has its advantage. So those who are not speaking, they are not lucky because you have a mouth, you have a brain, you have an idea of you're a human being, God made in the likeness of God, and you are God's child, and you've been sent to school, you're educated, you have a point of view, so you must speak, especially to the powerful, because if you don't engage the powerful, they'll run with it. They can even come and demolish your house and put a road there to their bedroom. So Africans need to speak more, but we must speak about issues that affect many of our people. It mustn't be about, oh, my job, my wife, and so on. That's not issues. That's your personal stuff. We're talking about issues like immigration, gender-based violence, issues like voting rights, issues like employment. What I talked about with the Filipinos in Dubai, earning $400 a month. The poorest Filipino in Dubai is earning $400 a month. I cannot say that for any Nigerian community anywhere in the world. Nigerians were not serious people. We like too much fun, too much fashion, too much music, entertainment, enjoyment. There's nothing wrong. We all love lifestyle, but we must invest in people and not cars and houses. People. That's what builds a nation, a people, not the amount of cars. Americans don't talk about the amount of cars they have. They talk about the American people, we the people. And they have a great country. And so we can learn from the Americans. And their president is wearing a baseball cap, make America great again. Have you seen any African leader wearing make Uganda great again or make Nigeria with a baseball cap? They will be dressing like, I don't know. We just don't have the determination to fight for our people on the issues that affect our people. And those issues are very basic issues: economy, politics, sports, immigration. I mean, how do we go to the Olympics and we don't win a single medal and the Minister of Sports is still in his job? How does the Minister of Sports sit in his job when he does not win a single medal at the Olympics? It means that we're not a serious people. That's why they destroy Nigerians easily, because they know that nobody will come to our aid. Nobody cares about Nigerians because the leaders are busy looting. They're looting the fiscus. So that is it. That's my spiel. That is my spiel.
All right, thank you.
Young Nigerians,
Okay.
get your papers, pursue your opportunity. We're ready to support you. We will support young people. We support young women because Africa's time is now. And the diaspora is going to lead that momentum of change. Not Nigerians in Nigeria, Nigerians in diaspora. I thank you.
All right. There's another question coming in, and I really appreciate it from Delim. He said that sometimes we speak out and our voice doesn't count. They don't even take us serious. They don't want to hear our voice, or we don't even have opportunity to speak to the right people.
No, my brother, listen to me carefully. You see me, I'm wearing a Igbo hat. This is Igbo hat. And I'm wearing this. You see the red? I've had this gown or this outfit, this top. I've had it for about 10 years. Look at how clean it is. Look at how clean it is, right? But the dry cleaners have removed the buttons. Every time I take it to dry cleaner, they remove the button. You see? Red. You see the way I'm dressed? You see? Red. You see the detail? Red hat. You see red hair? That is what leadership is about. You must prepare yourself to lead. When you complain, they don't listen to you. Complain again. If you complain 500 times a week, they will listen to you. Don't get tired of complaining. Complaining doesn't cost you any money. But if you give up, I was telling you earlier about the the Farotimi and the Falano and the Fawe means. Why is it only the Fafas that are talking in Nigeria? Where the Okekes and the Awijale and the Rumilas and so on? Why must it be only Falana and Fayemi and Fagbungbe and Farotimi and so on? Where are the rest? Nigerians, what my late father told me, and it's true, he said most Nigerians don't want to lead. They want someone else to lead them. And they have lots of excuses in their hand. It's like biscuits. Excuse. Nigerians are excuse. It's because there's no light. It's, oh God, my wife is going to give birth tomorrow. That is why they have story to tell. They're storytellers. That is Nigeria for you. They cannot queue to enter bus. When you want to enter the bus, they come in through the window. Those who come in through the door, they can't enter the bus. It's full already. I mean, is that the president that says? So, my brother, the questions he's asking is excuses. Complain more than 500 times a month. You'll be respected. Don't leave it to Dele Farotimi and Showore alone. They have one head like you. What are you doing? Why are you not known like them? You want to sleep and watch Big Brother. We want to watch Big Brother or Arsenal. If you are watching Big Brother and Arsenal and Nollywood and Netflix, you cannot lead. You will lead nothing.
So what you are saying now is that you need to persistence. You need to do it continuously. Don't just complain today and keep quiet continuously.
You must be a nuisance. When I went to Etiosa local government, I left from Ikate, Elegushi, the Oba there, the primary healthcare center. There are 4 generators. None of them was working. 2019. Normally, what I would have done is to give them the money to buy fuel and go. I said, never. I will never give them a cent, not even 30 kobo. I said, follow me to the local government. When I went there, lo and behold, the chairman was not there, but the vice chairman is my first cousin. She was heavily pregnant. She was happy to see me. I was happy to see her. If I didn't go to the local government, I wouldn't know my cousin is the vice chairman. She's now running for chairman now in this election. To God be the glory. She's going to win because she's APC candidate. She's definitely going to win. So if I didn't go there and I'm a typical Nigerian, I just give them 5,000. Elorepo, ema worry, ìlú iti bàjẹ́. Apa ni hospital oje ni nina, egba 5,000. Eloronje. I will never do that. A leader must go to the problem. So I went to solve the problem. So today they built 42-bedroom hospital in that same place. I was told about 4 years ago, they built a 42-bedroom. So my record is clear. I'm not going to give any excuse. Today, another example. I called a meeting, June 16, 4 p.m., with some of my colleagues or my neighbors and said, let's meet for play chess and play Monopoly. At 4 p.m., I drove there. I called them. They didn't take my call. I said, no problem. Maybe they are tired. I drove there. On my way there, I saw a 13-year-old boy, Naim, on his bicycle and his youth day. I said, hey, Naim. I didn't even know his name. I said, how are you? I said, do you want to play chess? He said, yeah. He rode his bicycle there. And I had my beer, 6-pack. I just carried it along. And then when he came, we played together for about an hour. And I beat him, but he almost beat me, but I beat him. But guess what? I gave him chicken, fried chicken, a bottle of Lucozade, and I gave him plantain chips because when I was drinking my beer, I didn't have any drink to give him, so I felt bad. And it's youth day. So those are the videos and pictures I sent to you. I could have stayed in my house and said, oh, those adults are not coming. And then I give up. I drove there, and that little boy, God just presented him to me on the bicycle. And I told him, follow me. And I said, go and tell your mom. Go and tell your mom first, right? Because he's 13. He can't just come and be playing chess with me without telling his mother. She'll be looking for him. So that's what I'm saying. A leader will find a way. There's no excuse anymore. We'll give excuse when we are dead. When we are dead. We will never give excuse when we are alive. No need for excuse.
All right. I have another contribution here that say that she is enjoying what we are saying. She's a beautiful conversation, loving it. No more excuses. We're going to make sure we hold our governments responsible for what needs to be done. All right. Thank you very much, Ma. I really appreciate every one of you sending your comment, and also those of you that you are commenting. I really appreciate every single one of you. We have just 2 minutes to round up this section. Honorable Omotola, in 1 minute, I just want you to quickly advise the youth of today.
The youth of today, my advice for them is a simple advice that I will give any adult. Immigration, economy, and integration. That's the first foundation. Be humble, be hardworking, be very clean. Make sure you clean everything. The floor, surfaces, tables, mirrors, walls, wash clothes, cook, clean, iron, do everything so that you can be independent. Because you can save a lot of money if you can clean your own environment, right? As a young person, you must be clean, be hardworking, study, read, show interest in people's cultures, bow to your elders, respect your friends and family, be kind, be courteous, have decorum, learn a lot of skills, play chess, play music, an instrument, learn a language, travel, drive, cook, dance, just be a wholesome person. Play tennis, table tennis, basketball, whatever, paddle. The future is bright for young people, but there will be no excuses allowed. No excuses allowed. NEA. No excuses allowed. NEA.
All right. Thank you, Honorable Tuju Omotola. Let's call it a day from here. Let's thank everyone that connects with us. We are celebrating the Youth Day, 16th of June 2025. And right here on the African Portal Radio, we say Happy Youth Day to all the South African youth and also to everyone across the globe. And we pray for peace in Middle East. And we also call Israel to please, let's take it easy. Iran, let's take it easy. We don't want third world war. We don't want war. We say no to war. The African Portal say no to war. Let's have dialogue. Let's solve this issue. Let the peace reign and let us live side by side in peace. That is what God wants. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I wanted to add to that. That message is powerful, but you must go to the Israeli embassy and you must also go to the Iranian embassy and go there and say, please, can peace reign? And also we need to go to the Indian embassy to pay our
All right, Honorable Omotola, I guess we need to be out now. Thank you very much for your time. And everyone joining us, thank you for your time. It's already upon us and we have to do it. It's in our hands now. God bless you. Have a good day. Goodbye from now.
God bless.